pain always takes precedence. So let me say this, because you guys are muted. And if something is hurting you, or you want another option to oppose, you have permission to unmute your button and ask me. Because that's one of the, when we're teaching online, I can't see you, and I don't know if you're experiencing discomfort, because a lot of times I can see it in people's eyes, but also students will kind of yell out, that's bothering me, and then I know. So if you're experiencing some type of discomfort, please unmute yourself, say, is there another adaptation to this pose, or this pose is causing discomfort, and then we can at least give you an option. Is that fair? Is that a deal? Is that fair? Is that a deal? Thumbs up?
Deal.
Okay. I see you're getting muted as I'm talking about it. Kind of funny, right?
Wow. I'm gonna go ahead and mute the ones that I thought wasn't talking. And
no, it's okay. We were just talking about if somebody wants to unmute themselves, they certainly have permission to do that, to ask a question related to what we're doing.
Right. I'm here. I just hide myself now because I do a lot of yard work in the morning. So
okay.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and mute you guys.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, and I'm not looking my best, so I hide myself.
Oh, see, that's the issue here. All right, everybody thinks they gotta, like, you know, be all beautiful for yoga, and then, you know, I can't see about half of you. You don't have to, like, be dressed up for yoga. Let's be very clear about this. Do I look like I'm dressed up? And, you know, I brushed my hair, but I looked at it this morning and I'm like, oh boy. Sometimes when I look at the recordings, I'm like, you let yourself go on the screen like that? You know, but really, it's not a beauty contest. And that's not what we're focusing on here. So, yeah.
Okay, well, go yoga. Have fun.
Go yoga. I love it. I love it. That is our mantra. Go yoga. I don't know if Nora Lynn's here this morning. She had an appointment. She always checks in and lets me know. I love that too. All right. So let's begin by, we're going to focus on the waist and the lower back. And so, you know, a lot of these poses you see, but what I'll do is my cueing is going to be related to that. So while we're seated and we're getting situated and centered, when we think about the waist, it's right about, I probably should take the jacket off, but I'm a little chilly here. So right here, in between the rib cage and the pelvic area, this is about where our waist is. And I have a teacher, and I'm sure I probably mentioned it to you. She said, imagine that you have chopsticks in between the top of your pelvis and your ribs. So maybe they're not as big as chopsticks, but you could take your fingers, your pointer finger and your thumb, and kind of feel that area. Yeah, you can sit or stand and feel that area of space in your body. So what we want to do is for this area to become long. We want this area long. So very often it shortens. And when it has space, there's more room to breathe, to digest, to just be. So for today, we will focus specifically on this area. So one of the ways to do it would be to take our hands and press our hands down into our thighs and lift up and out of the waist. Notice what happens. My belly like automatically kind of pulls in a little bit. And then look what's happening in my shoulders. They're lifting. So we gotta draw the shoulders up and back and try to keep that lift in the waist. We don't want to do it at the expense of rigidity, meaning we get stiff in the while we're seated. So there's this going back to, I know we spent a class quite a while ago about inner body lift, and that also can help this lifting up and out of the waist. So this inner body lift, you can kind of picture it like light coming in and lifting you upwards. What comes to mind when you think of inner body lift? It's coming from the inside out, which is really very much about the practice of yoga. So with your hand on your thighs, but relaxing your shoulders down your back, breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and out through the nose. And notice how when you sit up tall, there's more space for breath. But we still want that diaphragmatic breath, right? We still want that diaphragmatic breath that is belly expanding. So we breathe in and we breathe out without the shoulders lifting up. That's going to bring more of that chest breath in. So many things to think about, really. So for today, think about inner body lift, lengthening through the waistline. We breathe in and we breathe out. Breath is in through the nose and out through the nose. Now, to protect the lower back, we want to have a little bit of a pulling in of the exhale at the end of the exhale. It's not a squeeze, it's a pulling in. So you inhale in through your nose, belly expands. At the end of the exhale, through your nose, end of the exhale, belly and actually pelvic floor pulls slightly in and up. That creates that inner body lift. I'll keep saying it, repeating it. If you're like, oh, I don't know what she's talking about, just keep going with it. Eventually it clicks. Eventually it clicks. So don't try to force it or push it in there. It will come. Let's inhale and take our right arm forward and perhaps upward. Good. Now, as you do that, notice how the waistline lifts up and then exhale and float the arm down. And inhaling, left arm lifts and then reach up a little bit higher. Notice how you feel some lengthening along the side of the body. And then exhale and lower it down. Now let's tilt towards the right, and you can lift the left elbow. What happens now? The waistline gets a little pinchy, right? It shortens and tilt the other way. So now the left side of the waist is shortening, but the opposite side, the right side, is lengthening. And that's the beauty as we sway one way and the other. That is the beauty of side bends. They help to lengthen one side of the waist at a time. So elbow lifting on the opposite side that you're bending to. Now, if we didn't call in the strengthening with that toning and the end of the exhale, we might fall over the side. So I'm exaggerating. So let's breathe in. And as we bend towards the right, at the end of the exhale, pull the belly in and up. That's going to give a little bit of toning in the belly area, which protects the lower back. Let's go the other way. So we sway at the end of the exhale, pull the belly in and up, and come back the other way. Now, if there's lower back pain, then lessen the amount of bend in the curve of your spine. And notice, you should always stop, pull back if there's any pain, and then maybe go in a little bit less than and see how that feels. Like maybe when I mean, I don't even mean a little bit less than. Let's just say this was hurting me. So I might back off and then go about half the way and see how that feels. Let's come back to center, lift both arms upward, relax the shoulders down the back, spread your fingers and open up your arms wide, wide. Breathe in and breathe out. Touch your pointer finger with your thumb. Touch your thumb to your middle finger, your ring finger, and your pinky. We did this mood rub before, so it's sa, ta, na, ma as you touch your fingers. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Come back forward. Exhale, release down. Let's circle the shoulders around and about. Good. We're going to take our arms out and we're going to do some moving twists. So you're going to be gentle. We're going to twist towards the right and then the left. Just kind of let your arms sway. That's right. You got it. Just sway it. You can alter your speed. It can be faster or slower. So be gentle. Notice how it feels as we move. So perhaps inhaling one way and exhaling the other. You can let your arms kind of lift and lower or bend the elbows like so. Yep, you could switch it up overhead like this and then like this. So we're just kind of twisting one way, then the other arm positions. We could have the palms forward. And eventually, let's land on the right side for a twist. So left hand outside right thigh, left hand behind us. Hold on to the back of the chair or the seat of the chair. Lift the back shoulder up and back and keep imagining that you have those fingers of yours in between the ribs and the pelvic crest. And as you turn, I should say hip crest, it's your pelvic bones, but your hip bones as you twist towards your right. And take about 3 breaths in and out through the nose, breathing in and out through the nose. And let's go back to swishing one way and then the other. So more of a dynamic movement. Notice how there's no real right or wrong or perfection here. You might take the arms wider, bending one, lengthening the other. Notice if you become dizzy and you need to slow it down or take a break. Let's twist now towards the left. Right hand outside, left thigh, left hand on the seat of the chair or the back of the chair. Now with the twist, we want to imagine that our spine is rippling and straightening upward. So our spine is lifting, 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 lifting up as we twist towards the left. Breathe in and breathe out. So you imagine you're getting taller as you wind in your twist. Wind, not whine, wind. Breathe in and breathe out. And let's come back to center. Good. Push your heels in towards each other and press your in the inner thighs for butterfly. And then let's take our hands and do that sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, Notice how it's not easy sometimes to move these fingers independently. Mine even ache a little bit when I do it. And I was listening to somebody talk about this, and what it is these fingers are used to moving together, especially the ring finger and the pinky. So some people have a little bit more control than what I'm showing here. So let's actually use our hands to help out. Let's widen this a little bit. And we're going to use our hands, but let's move the feet a little. So heels up and exhale down, and heels up and exhale down. Now extend your right leg, push the heel down, then drag it in and lift it up. And drag it away, toes are towards you, and lift it back up, place the heel down. Other side, drag the heel forward, pull it back, lift it up, warming up the feet, and drag it forward and lifting it up. I was also listening to the same person. She was talking about how if people wear high heels a lot, they have trouble putting their heels down on the earth, which I thought was very interesting. So they have trouble lowering the heel down because the calf gets so tight. Another reason, those high heels, I'm telling you. So now let's do this we're going to help our hands with the other hand. So thumb and pointer finger come together. Use your other hand, use your to pull the fingers back. Ooh, is that a stretch or what? Be gentle, don't cause pain there. I'm feeling this all along the underside of the arm. Then do the next finger. So now it's my middle finger, and I'm pulling the other fingers back. And I'm telling you, I feel it here. Notice what you're feeling. And now I'm going to do just the ring finger and try to pull it back and press the others down. Never really thought about how these fingers kind of are used to working in a certain kind of way. And then do the pinky and pull the other fingers down. Ooh, that's a stretch. Then shake it out. Shake it out. So one of the reasons she said for that is like when we pick up a glass, our fingers are used to going together like that. So they're used to grabbing things and moving together, but they're not used to moving so separately. So we got to help them out. So other side. So let's do thumb and pointer finger together and then pull the other fingers back. Notice that stretch, it's big. But now on this side, I'm feeling a stretch, but it doesn't hurt. The other side, it hurt a little bit, gotta say. And then do the middle finger and then see if you can pull it back and then pull the thumb towards you and pull your fingers away. Wow, is that a stretch or what? I don't know if you guys are all feeling the exact same thing, but this is a tight area in my body. Then we're going to bring the ring finger down and pull the other fingers back. And then you can do it the opposite way. Pull the ring finger back and let these guys go down. So you're doing it both ways. I guess I'm just discovering that. And then the pinky goes back, woof, woof. And then the other fingers go down towards the palm, and then switch it up and pull it pinky down and pull these other. Wow. That's all I got to say is wow. I had no idea. Shake it out. That's a new one for me, but I always like getting those new ones in, you know. All right. So our feet are wide and our arms are in cactus, and let's tilt towards the right. Inhale back to center, lifting the arms up. Feel your waist get long as you lift up. Exhale, keep that lift even though you're pulling your arms down. Now inhale, lift up. Exhale, pull down. Now let's add the heels in. Inhale, heels rise, arms up. Yes. Exhale, pull down. Let's tilt towards the left. Feel a little side bend here. Imagine or feel the right side of your waist is getting longer. Inhale, come back up. Good. Let's extend the left leg and the right knee is bent. You can have it out to the, you don't want to get a nice center thigh stretch, but not too much, right? And then we're going to take our forearm to the thigh. We're going to lift up first. So lift up through the left arm and keep going. Keep lifting from your inside out. It's not just the arm that's lifting, it's from the inside out. Lift that long, then begin to bring it over your ear. Elbow is bent or straight. And your heel on the right side is underneath your knee. Now you can gaze up towards your elbow or down towards the earth, or maybe turn your head a little bit, lifting and lowering, and breath is in and breath is out. Now really push down through the right sitting bone. That's going to help your lower back. Really push it down. Inhale, rise up. Beautiful. Drag that heel back in. Notice how one side feels compared to the other. And let's extend the right leg. Make your adjustments on the chair so you're comfortable. We can lift tall without the arms. So lift tall from the inside out. Then keep that lift even though you're bringing your forearm to the thigh. Keep lengthening and then perhaps lift your arm. It's kind of like the icing on the cake. Then we feel that length a little bit more and bring it over the ear. Good. Breathe in. And we're tacking this left hip down. It pushes down, the left foot pushes down, the right heel pushes down. Now to come back up, press your footprint down, rise up, drag the heel back in, close it on up. Let's do some cat-cows. Those are really good for the lower back. So I'll turn to the side so you can see. And for cat pose, we can't emphasize the upper spine, but we also could not focus so much. We can make that secondary and focus on the lower back. So on your exhale, really think about curving the spine, the lower spine back. You can take your hand to your lower back to feel it. This is the cat pose. And then inhale, lift up, heart rises. So I'm just showing you where the emphasis is with my hand, and you can put your hand there to feel it. Now, as you curve this way, you could draw the skin down to feel even more, and then lift up into the cow pose. So the lower back bends a little bit. Notice if there's pain one way or the other. Generally, cat-cow does not cause pain. It's generally a pelvic tilt, which is pretty gentle. But you want to know, you want to make sure. So let's take our hands to our shoulders and do this pose. So exhale, round, focus on the lower back. Inhale, lift up. Head goes slightly back. Exhale, we round. Inhale, we lift. Now at the end of your next exhale, pull your belly and your pelvic floor in and up. So here we go. We go down, elbows are down towards navel. Lower back angles down, sitting bones angle down, and you pull your belly and your pelvic floor in and up. Then lift up for our teeny back bend, and exhale, we round once again. Let's come back to center and face forward. Now, the legs are the governor of the back. So we must stretch the back of the legs out to have a healthy back that doesn't feel so tight. So we do this almost every time. We're going to do it a little bit earlier in the class today. Place a strap around the bottom of the right foot, and then your heel can be down to start with. Now we want to lift up and out of the waist here. Almost everything we do, we're not really shortening the waist. So it's that inner body lift. We lift up, but our shoulders are down in our back. So they're not creeping up like that. Then you might bend your elbows in towards your rib cage because we're going to lift this heavy leg and lift it on up as you push the heel away and breathe in and breathe out as you get a little stretch through the back of the leg. Push your big toe mound away and take about 3 breaths here. Now, if you have lower back pain, lower the leg a little bit. You want to get a good stretch in, but you don't want to cause pain. And we're going to lower it down and switch sides. So bring that heel back in, stretch it out. We're going to do more stretching, no worries. Just want to get it going here before we go down to the earth. So heel is down, push the heel away, toes towards you, lift up and out of the waist, relax the shoulders down your back. So much to think about, right? Lift up. So your ears are stacking over your shoulders. Your shoulders are stacking over your hips. About, right? It's all about, it's not perfect. We are human after all. And then we're going to lift the leg up, press the heel away, toes are upwards, and notice maybe you feel a little bit more of a stretch on this side than the other side. Breathe in and breathe out. Soft breath in and soft breath out. Push that big toe mound away and release the leg down. Take the strap off, place it to the side. One more pose before we go down. We're going to lift the right knee up. We're going to find number 4. So either ankle over knee, or if that's too high, bring your foot on 1 or 2 blocks like so. So we're opening up the hip a bit. That's also going to help the lower back. So we're going to lean forward. Whether your foot is up on your thigh or down on a block or 2 or ottoman. Head is in line with spine. Now, we don't want the waist to get short here. Let's make sure it gets long. Maybe you take your hands to your hips and reach long through the crown of your head. Breathe in and breathe out. And we're going to push down through our foot. Rise up for the other side. So either foot on block, like so, or ankle on thigh, like so. Lift up and out of the waist before we even start to fold forward. We stop folding forward when we start to feel a little stretch in the hip. Relax the chin so that your spine is long. Feel the length. You can take your mind's eye to the hip crest and then think about that space in between your ribs and the hip crest. And you can touch it. That can help you figure out where that is in space to lengthen it. Breathe in. Breathe out. At the end of the exhale, pull your belly in and up. And then we'll rise back up on the next inhale and place the foot down. Good. And let's work our way down to the earth. So bring blankets, bring a pillow, bring a strap, bring your block or 2, whatever you got you think you might need, and we'll come on down to the earth. I like to place the chair against the wall for safety. Bring that blanket over here. And find your way down nice and slow. And maybe as you go down, you want to protect your lower back too, right? So you can bend your knees, then lower one knee down, and then the other. Want to do this mindfully. I'm going to move this out of the way so it's not in your field of vision. And place the blanket so that I can place my knees on it. So for this first one, I'm gonna face forward. We're gonna do a little bit of twisting, but we're gonna start in our table pose. Your toes can be curled under, or the top of the foot can be placed down on the mat. And then let your hips sway one way and then the other once you get down there. And let your palms spread, your fingers spread. Claw the mat with your fingertips. We opened up the hands a little bit earlier. It can really make a difference. And then come back to center and place your right hand a little bit to center. You're going to open up your left arm out to the side and up towards the sky. I want you to think about that area in between your hip crest and your ribs. It gets longer as the arm lifts up. Now both shoulders are working back. They're working backwards. That opens up the front of the body. So actually there's a little bit of a twist here as we open. And then exhale and place the arm back down. Go back to your table. Find a cat pose. I want you to focus on the lower back. So we round the spine, shin is to chest. You can take one hand to your lower back if that feels okay to you. Or not, or just leave both hands down. Then reverse it for the cow. So the heart rises and the sit bones rise. We're going to go back to neutral table. Move the left hand to center, open up the right arm out to the side and up towards the sky. Reach to your highest. Reach to your highest. Spread your fingers. Yes, yes, yes. So now we're feeling a length across the whole front side of the body. At the same time, feel that area. It's from your hip crest to your ribs. It gets stretched out. And then lower the arm down. Then let's come on to maybe our forearms and do a cat-cow if your wrists are getting sore. So round your spine, or you can have hands on blocks. That can be very helpful. Round your spine, shin to chest. And then reverse it for the cow. Sit bones rise, heart rises. Exhale, round. And then inhale, reverse it. Pay attention to that area in between the ribs, the bottom of the ribs and the top of the hip. Now we're going to come back up and we're going to do thread the needle. You might want to have a block or a blanket. And I will show you why, or a pillow works too. So you can just use, instead of the block, a blanket or a pillow. So here's how it looks. We're going to bring the right hand to center, lift the left arm out to the side and up. Then we're going to curl the arm back behind the wrist, come almost down to the shoulder. So here, this is a twist. And then lift back up once again. And next time we're going to land. So you might want your head or your shoulder on this block. I'll show you what I mean, or a blanket or a pillow instead of the block. So you can have your head or your shoulder rest there as the arm pulls under. The top hand, you can press the fingertips down or the ridges down as you pull the bottom arm through. So you're getting some good length, the shoulder area, and you're getting a twist at the same time. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale and exhale. And we're going to push down, rise up. So that's called thread the needle, which is a twist. Let's go for the other side. Now we're going to place the left hand to center. Inhale the right arm up. Maybe you gaze up. And then exhale, swing it through behind the left wrist. Inhale, lift it back up. Make sure that you're externally rotating so your bottom shoulder doesn't feel undue weight on it. So you're externally rotating that shoulder out to the side. Now we're going to come on down, maybe rest our ear or head on the block as we pull the right arm through. Now the left fingertips might be pressing down. Now you don't have to have the block. Some people are blanket or pillow. It could look like this with nothing, but for some people they want it. So I want to make sure you know that that can be helpful. Some people love this pose and others are like, no, this is not a pose for me. And that really follows for many poses. Breathe in and breathe out and send your breath to the areas, perhaps your lower spine, that need a little bit more nurturing and attention. And then let's inhale and rise back up. Now we will go on to our belly since we were talking about that. And we're going to do a Cobra Sphinx, but you could do a back bend another way, which would be like a bridge pose instead. Or even a thigh stretch is a back bend. I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So first we're going to go down on our belly and onto our forearms. And you might have this blanket underneath your pelvic area. That can also help the lower back. Some people say it helps the lower back. So here we are. And our hands can be by the side. Our legs are straight back. So you might pick up your right leg, lengthen the toes backwards as you rest your forehead down. And then exhale, release it. And lift the left leg up, stretch it back and release it. Maybe sway the hips right and left. That's also a further lower back release. Then place our hands by our side for our baby cobra. So we're going to draw the shoulders up, circle them back, maybe get a lift. Now, if you go too high like this, that will dump into the lower back. Better to stay down, not go so high and lower down. And then get a little back bend. So shoulders up and back. So we feel our shoulder blades on the back. It's a really nice back bend here. Now, we want to make sure that our tailbone is angling down towards our heels. So you're smoothing your hips and toning them down towards your heels. That helps your lower back. Then we pull our belly in and up. And maybe we lift the upper back into a little cobra and exhale and lower down. Inhale, we lift up. Exhale, we lower down. Let's press down through our hands. Rise up, pull your belly in and up for a child pose. Child pose is one of those poses. Some people like it and some don't. If your knees bug you in this pose, you can place your knees on a blanket. The knees generally go a little wider than hip width apart, but to protect your lower back, you may keep the knees together. And then we can rock the hips back. Find that place where you're going to get a stretch now through the lower back. And your arms, your elbows can be bent or they can be lengthening. And you could also take your hand to your lower back and kind of angle the tissue down towards your heels. Down towards your heels will help the lower back. We breathe in and we breathe out. We are in that child pose. Breathe in and breathe out. One more time. Send your breath to your lower back. Send love to your lower back. And release out through your nose. Let your hips sway to the right and sway to the left. and back to the right and back to the left. Good. We come to center. We're gonna lift on up and we're gonna get into our thigh stretch. So for the thigh stretch, it is a back bend, which is kind of why I want to show it. And also it really helps your lower back when your quads are really tight. That does pull on your lower back, just like your hamstrings. So on your belly is one option. And you would prop yourself like you're in Sphinx pose, which looks like this. Forearms are down underneath shoulders. And then I like to bring one arm forward like parallel and then you can catch the pant leg or the ankle or the foot, or use a tie and put a strap around and then pull the heel in towards you until you feel a thigh stretch. Now, this same pose can be done on your side and get rid of it on your belly. If you feel like the pubic bone is pushing down, get rid of that, right? If the blanket isn't helping, turn to your side. And I'm going to show it. I'll show both ways. So here's what it looks like on the front. Now, some people, when they lay on their side, it also hurts on their side. So you could have a little padding. Now, the other thing I should say is you could stack 1 or 2 yoga blankets down too to help the padding. Some people have a little bit thicker mat, and that could work too. So for on your side, we kick the heel back towards the buttocks, and you'll feel a stretch in the front of the thigh. Now, we don't want the knee up here. We want it down and then kick it back. You can use a strap or use your hand. You can use a strap or your hand. For me, I find the hand easier, but some people say the strap really is helpful. So the stretch is now in the front of the thigh, which is really, really good for your lower back. So if this area is tight, your hip flexors are going to be tight, it's going to pull on the front of your body. So really, we're looking at the front of the body. We got to stretch both the front of the legs and the back of the legs to help the lower back. So here we are, and this is awesome, and you feel the stretch. And if it's too much, you bend your knee. If it's too much, bend your knee. You'll find that spot where you feel a stretch, but it's not pain, it's not pinging. Then we release it, maybe lengthen it out, maybe circle the ankle, and we do the other side. So let's choose now. Should you be on your belly or should you be on your side? I'm actually going to show you the back view so you can see what it looks like. Mine's the back view, but here it goes, right? Now you can bend your elbow and rest your ear on your upper arm. And then we bend this knee, and some people like to bring the knee forward, catch the leg, then pull the knee back. We don't want the knee up here. That'll pull on the knee. Not good. So then you're pressing the foot into your hand and your hand into your foot. So this is a nice option. It's also really, it is a back bend. There is a back bend happening here. So this is another way to do a back bend on your side. And you're also getting the benefit of stretching your thigh too. Breathe in and breathe out. Give both sides equal attention. We don't want them to get jealous. No jealousy. I'm going to come out of that. I don't know if you hear me well when I'm facing the wall. And we will come out of that. Now, go back on your belly if it's okay with you. And I'm going to show you inchworm. Inchworm is really pelvic tilts on your belly. So you can rest your forehead on your arms. And then we're going to lift the sitting bones and press the tops of the knees, and not the kneecap down, but just above it. And we lift the sitting bones up. And then we lengthen the sitting bones down to the heels, and the belly pulls in and up. So here's the inhale, sit bones rise. Here's the exhale, sitting bones go down towards the heels and the belly tones. Sit bones rise. And then sitting bones down towards your heels, tone your belly as you pull your belly in and up. And we'll let that go. Let's do some twisting because we're going to do some more twisting and side bending, as Esther asked for that. And we're going to do, we'll do one seated twist, and then we'll go down onto the mat and lie down and do that. So you have options. Notice how I'm sitting on a blanket. You could sit on a block. When the lower back curves back, I'm going to show you. When it curves back, that's going to cause lower back pain. I better show the side view. So I'm sitting on I'm going to not sit on the blanket. And if we have tight hips, this is what's going to happen. That doesn't feel good. The posture's off, and this is rounding, and the spine doesn't like it. That's an exaggerated view. But then if I stick a blanket underneath the sitting bones like this, now the curve goes in a bit and the back is happier. Sometimes people need a higher up pillow or 2 blankets. That's awesome. You use the props to help you get into the pose. We don't force our pose, we oppose on our body. And if that doesn't work, then we go down and we do a lying down twist instead, or seated in the chair twist. So here's our seated twist. It's called Marichasana, half Lord of the Fishes in Sanskrit. I'm going to bend the left knee in towards me, and the right foot is in front. And then take your hands around the front of the shin. Now, another version of this is to take your foot across the thigh. So it's accessible for some and not others. So this is the first version. This might be the second version. Another version, which is no better, is to extend the bottom leg, no better or worse. There's no judgment. And sometimes people like this version more. So I'm holding my hands onto the shin and I'm pulling up and out of the waist. Remember, I still got those sticks in between the hip crest and the bottom of the ribs. So we're tall, shoulders relaxed on the back. I'm going to find my twist now towards the right. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. You can stay as long as you want in this one. And then shake it on out. Shake it, shake it, shake it, and do the other side. You always could do something like butterfly is an option too, and do the twist with the butterfly. So we're going to twist the other way so it would look like this, but I'll take you through what we did on the other side. But this is an option if the other wasn't accessible. So now I'm going to bend the right knee in and take the left foot forward. So this is version 1. And we find our twist. Now we lift up and out of the waist as we twist. And we open up that back shoulder. Another option is to take the foot outside the knee. This is probably the hardest one. And it's also a hip opener at the same time. We lift up and out of the waist. And then we find our twist. And then version 3. Right leg is forward. Left foot is either here, so it's outside of the knee and the thigh, or it can actually be in here. Hands in front of the shin, lift tall, find your twist. Breathe in and breathe out. So you find the version that works for your body. And then we'll release that and we'll go down onto our back and do a little bit more stretching and strengthening. So you might have a block in the strap with you. And we will lower on down nice and slow. Come on down. Remember, you don't want your head any higher. You don't want your ears any higher than your shoulders. So just one blanket if you're going to use one. We're going to bring our knees in and massage our spine. That's also a really nice thing to do for the lower spine. So massage your spine. You can make circles one way and then the other. You can rock side to side. You can even roll a little bit forward and back. And then let's cross the right knee over the left and then hug your legs in towards each other. It might look like this, that the lower legs are crossing, but either way. So either thighs crossing, and you'll feel this in your hip, or lower legs crossing and pull it in. And you can use your hands on your shins to pull it in, or ankles, depending upon what's accessible. And take a breath in and out. And feel the sensation of the stretch. And then let's crisscross the other way. So now left over right and pull it on in. And notice, I notice it more on this side. And you're pulling your legs gently towards you. Just notice. And lessen it. If it's too much, lessen it up. That means don't pull the legs so close together. And then release. And let that go. And let's sneak in a leg stretch because it's so good for the lower back. Now we want to make sure that our waist is long. So you can tilt your pelvis forward and back and find that midway point where you feel a little toning in the belly. Then place the strap around. Try to keep that tilt of the pelvis the whole time. So you can tilt forward and back even with the strap on. Find that midway point and then start to stretch your leg, keeping that midway point with the pelvic tilting forward and back. And then you can pull the leg towards you, relax the shoulders, pull the thigh in towards the arch of your foot. Feel the sensation. Always more stretching to do. Feel the sensation. Notice how it feels. You might feel it in your toes, along the back of your leg. Let's take the leg out to the side. So now it's an inner thigh stretch. And we're going to lift it up and cross it over the midline just because, ooh, that's so nice on the outside of the thigh. You can let your whole body roll to the side like that. If you get more out of it by letting your body go all the way over to the side, you can do that. It's okay. And then inhale, lift the leg up and bring both feet into bridge prep pose. And then bring your knees in towards you and let your knees fall to the left as you straighten your spine. So you can kind of gaze up for a second, support your head and look up And then lower your head down and just see, is the body in somewhat of a straight line? And then feel your twist. And notice how you're making space in between the bottom of the ribs and the pelvis. So you can actually use your hand and make more space. You can push your hand and your hip down and get even more space there. You might stretch your arm up and back behind you and get more space that way. I'm even pushing into the wall, which feels kind of good. We can always find more space. And then come back to neutral. Maybe you let the knees sway right and left. And then we're going to do the stretch on the other side. So strap around left foot upwards. Tilt your pelvis forward and back. Tilt it forward and back and find that midway point. And then let your leg move down towards the opposite side and feel the outside of the thigh. You can let it fall all the way down. Then it becomes a little bit more of a twist. This is where you get to decide how you want this to go. And then we're going to lift it back up. Now, at any point, if you want to stay longer in a version, you should, because it's really nice to take the time. You're home to do it. Now I'm going to open up the leg out to the side. This is, it's important, and staying in it for a few minutes while you hold your, hold the pose, support it, might be a really nice thing to do. You have to notice, is it too much? Or does your body want a little bit more of a stretch? And we're going to bend both knees in towards us. And this is a really nice thing to neutralize out the spine too. We're going to do this as we end. Taking yourself back into bridge prep pose, and then bringing your knees up above your hips. And your hand can start by being in front of your thighs. Pretend you have a wall in front of your feet and you're pushing the wall into your feet. And you're pushing the wall into your feet. You're pushing your feet into the wall. At the same time, you're pushing your hands into your thighs and your thighs into your hands. You will notice your belly toning. That is a toning going on. Then release it. Let that go. And do it again. Press your hands with your thighs. Press your thighs into your hands, and imagine you're pushing your feet into a wall in front of them. And then release. Now we're going to do a little bit of opposite action here. You're going to pull your knee towards you and push your thigh away. Push your knee towards you. You got your hand on the top of your knee or shin on the right side. Your left hand is in front of the thigh. Find that isometric of thigh pushing into left hand into thigh, at the same time pulling your knee towards you as the foot pushes away. Let that go. Let's do the other side. Hand on top of your thigh, pull the knee towards you, push the foot away on the left side. Right hand is in front of right thigh. Right foot is pushing into imaginary wall, but the right thigh is pushing into the hand. And just notice, these are isometrics, belly pulls in and up. Release. Now let's go back to doing both at the same time. So hands in front of the thigh, feet pushing into imaginary wall. Sit bones actually, they lengthen out, belly tones. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out, and then take a big stretch, lengthen your legs, lengthen your arms up over your head, point your toes, flex them towards you, point away and towards you, Notice as you stretch, your belly might rise, your ribs might rise, and then relax that down and find your final resting pose. So if you do have lower back pain, putting a bolster, a blanket underneath your knees is really, really a good idea, or your feet up on a chair. Highly, highly, highly recommended. It's a great thing to do. One of my friends fractured a bone in her foot, and I said, get your feet up the wall or up a chair. And she's like, wow, that feels really good. I'm like, yeah, it helps all kinds of things. So feet up on the chair or feet up the wall and relax and breathe and relax. Let the hips get heavy. Hands might be on your belly. Let the shoulders melt into the earth. You might have your arms down by your side, palms facing upwards. Relaxing the jaw, the eyelids, your breath getting softer and softer. The fingers relaxing, the toes relaxing. The legs. Give away any control that you're feeling in your legs or your feet. Relax the skin on your face. Relax your abdominal organs. You've twisted them, you've lengthened the inside and the outside of the body. So now you let the body kind of recalibrate, reassimilate, take in all the good, the nurturing that you're given to yourself on this Friday morning in September. So you're right here with this body, in this body. Relaxing from head to toe, from fingertips to shoulders, lower spine to upper spine, from inside out and outside in. Stay as long as you wish in your resting pose as you begin your weekends. Bring my palms in front of the heart, expressing gratitude to all of you for being here this morning with me and the Michigan Parkinson Foundation community. We're so happy that you joined us. Namaste, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I'm here for any questions you might have. I hope your lower backs feel better and you're feeling a little bit more of release of any kind of tension. Abdominal organs feeling a little better, getting some good twists in.
Great job.
Feels much better. Thank you.
I'm glad you feel a little better.
Thank you, Mindy. Namaste.
Namaste, Mary. Namaste. Norlin, you made it. You always make it for part of it.
I did.
Yay. Thumbs
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
thumbs up.
Yay.
Thank you for showing those pictures. I loved them.
Oh, you're welcome. But you know what? Now we have kind of bad news.
What?
He broke his clavicle screwing around playing football.
Oh, no. No, that's so painful. So is
Yeah.
no more right now? Yeah.
Yeah, he's not sure what's gonna happen with band. So
Oh, no.
I know.
It's always something.
That's right. I thought it was gonna be the younger one, but the younger one's, well, I shouldn't say anything because he's the one
Don't say a word, don't say.
I
a
know.
word.
Those darn kids anyways.
Oh my goodness, really? You were just enjoying yourself, going to the band? Jeez.
Yep. Oh, God. Now I
Where's
just
your
have to watch it.
football season? Jeez.
I know, because they said he told us this morning, probably 6 to 8 weeks out. I'm like, oh, no.
Oh,
It
boy.
stinks. But hopefully he can somehow help with the band. I mean, he can still walk, he can use one hand. Maybe he won't be able to play, but maybe he'll be able to, I don't know, at least be on the field to help or whatever.
Yeah, make him do something.
That's right, that's right. That's right.
Well, it's good
Come
to
on.
see Sophia that
This is your last year to be able to do something. Isn't that awful, Cheryl?
Yes, this is. It's making me feel bad.
I know. I was like, oh, and he's like, well, they could have put it back in, but then it'd just be dangling. I'm like, okay.
Oh,
okay.
boy.
I don't want to hear that. No. Let's do it the right way. So,
Now
Oh, boy.
some other kid will have a chance at his spot, I guess.
yeah,
Other
exactly.
kids started going, yay.
I know. Oh well. I'll keep you posted.
Okay, keep us posted.
enjoy
All
the
right.
Have a
weather.
good weekend, everyone.
Enjoy the
you.
weather. Bye-bye.
Bye.